After a tragic airplane accident, a young boy becomes the sole survivor, with both of his parents tragically passing away. Despite extensive search efforts, the boy is declared dead and his disappearance remains a mystery. However, 10 years later, the boy miraculously returns, having spent the past decade experiencing the harsh realities of warfare. Before we begin, follow if you want to zap into the latest anime trends and hit the subscribe button so you never miss any update from us. The story starts with a failed mission to rescue a professor, where both the rescuer, a military man, and the professor get trapped. They received inaccurate information, and their enemies were well informed of their movements, leading to their capture. Later, a man appears and knocks down Sergeant Kim. The lieutenant inquires about the whereabouts of the other troops, but he has no knowledge of their location and suspects they were taken away. A man arrives and asks if Lieutenant Kang Hamkin is there. He says he's come to rescue them and asks Hamkin to bring the other prisoners and follow him. Hamkin asks him questions, but he can't answer them. 3 enemies appear, and Hamkin thinks they can't take them out quietly, but the rescuer attacks and kills them. Hamkin is surprised that he took them out without a gun. The rescuer says they'll move faster and only use guns in emergencies. They wait for the professor and sergeant and leave when they arrive. Outside, they meet other platoon members who were saved by the rescuer. The rescuer tells them to continue southwest and Hamkin recognizes him as a mercenary. They hear an explosion, and the rescuer fights back against the enemies. Hamkin is shocked to learn that the rescuer is just a kid. 6 months later, a new student named Yu-Ijin is introduced to the class by the teacher. His sister Daeyeon is attending a different class where she overhears some girls talking about a new transfer student who turns out to be her long-lost brother presumed dead in a plane crash a decade ago. Lost in thoughts, she is bullied by some other girls. In another class, the teacher introduces Ijin, who recently returned after living abroad for a while. He remembers the advice of his fellow soldier Hamkin to avoid fighting, despite his extensive experience on the battlefield. Later, his classmate warns him to stay cautious around 2 other students in the class. After their math class, Daeyeon and Ijin decide to walk home together. One of Daeyeon's bullies discovers her brother's return and starts badmouthing her. When one of the bully's friends notices Ijin glaring at him, he tries to fight. Ijin remembers his promise not to fight, but after the boy persists, he punches him hard, knocking him down. He feels remorseful for breaking his pledge. On the other hand, Kangam reflects on Ijin's experience of living in a war zone for 10 years since he was 9 and hopes that he can adjust well to school. Meanwhile, Ijin is engaged in a physical altercation with some bullying students, overpowering them. After the fight, Ijin politely suggests to Daeyeon that they should leave. As they depart, Daeyeon advises Ijin that it's impolite to stare at people as he did earlier. She cautions him that such behavior can provoke aggressive reactions from people and that he should avoid doing it in the future. Back at home, Ijin is washing the dishes while his grandfather asks him about his first day at school. Ijin reports that everything went smoothly, with no issues. The next morning, he wakes up to find his grandfather has prepared a hearty breakfast for him. Meanwhile, Heejin, the leader of the bully group, learns about Ijin's connection to Daeyeon and worries that they may face retaliation if they continue to target her. However, Heejin's malicious nature leads her to continue bullying Daeyeon relentlessly. She confronts Daeyeon and physically and verbally abuses her, threatening that Ijin will be taught a lesson. Daeyeon, worried about her brother's safety, forgets about the bullying and rushes to inform him of the danger. Meanwhile, the boys Ijin had fought the previous day arrive in his classroom, accompanied by Heejin's brother, who is considered a powerful figure in the school hierarchy. As Daeyeon arrives to warn Ijin, he notices her disheveled appearance. When Ijin confronts the group of boys, he recognizes Kim Kisu as Heejin's brother and asks if it's him. Kisu confirms his identity and orders his friends to bring Ijin to him. Daeyeon apologizes to Ijin, assuming they came to attack him because of her, but to everyone's surprise, Ijin effortlessly defeats the approaching boys. Even Kisu is taken aback by Ijin's skills as he beats all of his friends. Ijin then questions the bullies about whether they are the ones who have been bothering his sister. Kisu accuses Ijin of the fighting because he knows some tricks and warns him before launching an attack. However, Ijin expertly blocks his moves and lands a punch on his face. Ijin easily defeats Kisu and his gang, leaving all their classmates in shock. As he turns towards Heejin, Daeyeon intervenes and stops him. Ijin asks Heejin if she is the one who bullied his sister, which surprises her. He then walks Daeyeon to class while Heejin insults his brother and his gang. Daeyeon admires her brother's fighting skills, and Ijin tells her that he fights for his family. Back in class, Ju and Lee admire Ijin's fighting abilities. Meanwhile, Kisu's gang is angry about their defeat, and Heejin is humiliated in front of the class. She expresses jealousy towards Daeyeon and wonders if she has to watch her quietly from now on. After years of being bullied, Daeyeon feels relieved that she can finally attend school without being harassed. She proposes to Ijin that they should visit the store and purchase some items for their grandpa, who often comes home hungry from work. At the store, Daeyeon realizes that people are staring at them, and she concludes that Ijin's reputation as an attractive young man has extended beyond their school. Later that night, Grandpa presents Ijin with a new mobile phone, which he uses late into the night, and notifies Hamkin of his new number. Hamkin becomes upset when he discovers this since he had already bought Ijin a new phone. The following day, Daeyeon is in a rush to get to school when a group of girls in disguise attacks and bullies her. They take her to a karaoke and leave her there, badly injured. A man sees her and tries to call the police, but she insists that she is alright. When the teacher inquires about Daeyeon's absence, the class reports that she is missing. Ijin waits for her outside the school but is left disappointed when she doesn't show up, so he calls her. He eventually goes home and administers first aid, but Daeyeon lies about falling down the stairs to account for her injuries. When Ijin sees bloodstains on her shoes and urges her to seek medical attention, Daeyeon declines, worried that the truth about the attack will be uncovered. Thinking she lacks proof this time and, more importantly, that it would break Grandpa's heart, she worries. Kisu sits at a club where everyone discusses him getting attacked by a new student. His sister calls and informs him about Daeyeon and how she was beaten up. He commends her for her actions. Suddenly, Ijin enters the club and assaults Kisu's friends. With only Kisu left, Ijin remains on the phone, asking what is happening. As Ijin faces Kisu, he urges him to leave his sister alone and demands to know what harm she has caused them. Kisu grabs a bottle and lunges at Ijin, who evades and retaliates. Kisu is surprised he can't land a single blow despite numerous attempts and decides to escalate to lethal force. Ijin restrains Kisu by the neck until he almost loses consciousness, throws him to the ground, and warns that he'll seek retribution if he ever hears they have mistreated his sister. He also implores Kisu to keep his sister in check, threatening to come after him if she harasses Daeyeon. Without another word, Ijin leaves. Hijin loses contact with Kisu and sees Ijin leaving the club. Fearful, she falls down and remains as Ijin departs. Inside the club, she finds everyone unconscious and scolds them for getting beaten up by one person. Kisu wakes up and insists Hijin shouldn't mess with Ijin's sister. Hijin berates Kisu for fearing one guy and he retorts that he'll beat her if she harms Ijin's sister. Meanwhile, Ijin receives a call from his grandpa about Daeyeon's injuries. Grandpa doubts her story of falling down the stairs and is heartbroken that she didn't confide in him. Ijin assures his grandpa that he'll watch over Daeyeon at school. The following day, Kisu admits to the hospital where his mother blames the person who hit him for the incident, promising revenge. Kisu questions Hijin about why she told their parents about Ijin, to which she falsely claims that he hit her arm. Their mother hires a menacing man named Chief to deal with Ijin, expressing eagerness for his punishment. Hijin is pleased that the transfer student will face consequences. While Ijin is at home, he hears some commotion outside, and several men arrive asking for him. He informs his grandpa that they are acquaintances and agrees to talk to them. They take him to their boss, who orders his men to attack Ijin, but he defeats them with ease, leaving Chief astonished by his exceptional combat skills. Despite being ordered to beat Ijin, Chief is the one who gets beaten instead. He is surprised by Ijin's abilities and demands to know who he is, to which Ijin claims he is just a normal high schooler. They fight again, and Ijin successfully defends himself against Chief's attacks, ultimately defeating him. Meanwhile, Kisu's parents are concerned about not receiving any updates from the Chief. Eventually, they receive a call from him, informing them that their children have crossed paths with the wrong person, and he has been defeated. Suddenly, Ijin arrives at the hospital and overpowers their guards. Chief realizes that he has already arrived and wonders who he is. On the flip side, Kisu's dad inquires how Ijin managed to enter their house. Despite their mother's threat to report Ijin to the police, he stuns them by showing a video clip of Hijin bullying Daeyeon and asking for money. Hijin tries to defend herself, but her father tells her to keep quiet. Hijin informs them that he also has evidence of Kisu's wrongdoing, including footage of their bullying and stealing from others. He explains that he only did what he did to protect his sister, who was being bullied by Kisu and Hijin. Kisu's father offers to pay for the hospital expenses and offers Ijin money, but Ijin refuses and demands that Kisu and Hijin stay away from his sister permanently. Kisu's father agrees to send them overseas, and Ijin asks that they leave by the following day. After the agreement is made, Kisu's father demands that Ijin hand over all of the footage, but Ijin refuses. When he returns home, he finds his grandpa and Daeyeon waiting for him. He reassures them that he is fine and promises Daeyeon that she will no longer have to worry about falling down the stairs. Upon Daeyeon's arrival to class the following morning, she overhears her classmates discussing Hijin's absence from school. Daeyeon is taken aback and eventually realizes that her brother is responsible for Hijin's departure. Hijin's friends are also surprised and concerned about her sudden departure and inability to answer their calls, causing them to speculate if Hijin is involved. Just as the group is pondering this, Hijin unexpectedly appears and explains that she will only be gone for one semester. Additionally, She promises to request her mother's assistance in removing Daeun's grandfather from his job and agrees to take care of Daeun for one last time. Ijin startles Heejin with his sudden appearance there and reveals that the people involved in bullying Daeun are present in the same place. He plays music and locks the door, leaving everyone shocked. Meanwhile, Heejin's parents are waiting for her when their guard interrupts and urges them to watch the news. The newscaster exposes that the bullies are the offspring of Congressman Kim In-dee. Ijin is questioned by the chief about his actions, as he had previously made a deal with the congressman. Ijin confesses to his twisted personality. The news further reveals evidence of the congressman's voting fraud, money laundering, and solicitation. It's revealed Ijin found those pieces of evidence from the chief's residence who had kept them as a safeguard against the congressman. News reveals that even the members of the congressman's party are requesting an investigation due to the compelling evidence. In class, students approach Ijin while Yunkin asks about his schedule and suggests they hang out after school, which Ijin agrees to. Ju and Lee inquire if Ijin sent Kisu and Heejin abroad, but he denies it. They propose forming a band, but Ijin declines and mentions his plans to hang out with Yunkin. Ju and Lee suggest they all go together. The teacher introduces new students, including Shin Yuna, the granddaughter of the owner of SW, the biggest corporation in the country, and her bodyguard Sakshu. Later, Yuna inquires about Ijin, and Sakshu promises to investigate. After digging a bit, Sakshu informs Yuna that Ijin is Daeun's older brother and enrolled just a week prior. He suggests investigating Ijin as his appearance in the school bugs him. Follow if you want to zap into the latest anime trends and hit the subscribe button so you never miss any update from us.